Good morning, everyone. Morning, good morning, good morning. Or good day, depending on where you're from. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. How's everybody doing today? Morning, good morning, good morning. Or good day, depending on where you're from. Hopefully everybody's week is going well. Hopefully everybody's day is going well. I'm going to take a minute to welcome everybody to the stream, and then we'll get into some of the information. Good morning, Maya. Good morning, Astro. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Saju. Good morning, Mitchell. Good morning, Kim. Isaiah, what's up? Q Mendez, what's up? Tad, good morning. Tony, good morning. June 30 Trades, good morning. Darts, what's up? Mario, how are you doing today? Pierre, good morning. Uturo, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. Taking a moment to say good morning to the community, and then we're going to get into some of the information here. Good morning, Regal. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, A.O. Washington. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Felipe. Good morning, Nex. Good morning, Amar. Good morning, OGT. Good morning, Ricardo. Frank, what's up? Marcelo, what's up? Emram, how are you doing today? Charles, how are you doing today? David, good morning. Vis, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's week going so far? See how chat's doing so far? Throw a 1 in the chat if you're green on the week. Throw a 2 in the chat if you're red on the week. Throw a 3 in the chat if you've yet to trade this week. See how chat is doing to start the week. Handful of 1s there to start. Very nice. Couple 2s as well. Couple 3s as well. Like a handful of 1s though. Very good job, chat. All right, so got about 8 minutes before the open here. So let's make sure we get a game plan ready. Make sure we're prepared for New York Open. And let's take a look. For all the individuals that have been working with me, it's going to sound quite repetitive, but that's because you know the model. You know how I engage with the market. You know my approach to it. So, the same thing every single day. Let's begin to build our game plan. Starting with time, get over to the economic calendar to understand our important times of the day. Nice to see that we had a red folder today. PPI, it already occurred this morning. Right, it was just about an hour ago. It was at 8:30 a.m. this morning. So I like to see that there was a red folder. I want volatility to be in the market so that my P&L can fluctuate. Red folder already occurred, so we no longer have to consider this important time. The only other important time that we have to understand is 9:30 a.m. You have to understand that New York Open is always going to be an important time as well. Okay, so let's take a look. In terms of time, we did have a red folder. And then we also have to take a look at New York Open. Next comes bias or draw on liquidity. And let's talk about it. So first things first is the higher time frame is clearly very bullish. Okay, so I don't exactly want to fight the trend. I understand that we came here and swept out the high and it left a huge reversal candle. So this does look like a bearish bias. We swept out the high, and it looks like it wants to move back internal. Okay. I do understand that point, but the issue I'm having is this right here. Right? When you zoom out, we have clearly been so bullish for so long that it's hard to fight that momentum. It's hard to fight that trend. So, personally, I don't think trying to pick a top is a good idea right now. Trying to be the one to be first to become bearish, it's lower probability than sticking with the trend. There's been a lot of times where I've quite literally said the trend is your friend till the end of the trend. Okay, so in my opinion, I understand that we have concepts to view price in terms of creating a bias, creating a game plan, but I'm also looking to be fluid with the market. I want to be aligned with the momentum, the higher time frame order flow. Okay, so whether we're kind of disregarding the concepts today or not, I can't disregard the higher time frame trend is going on. Okay, and to pair with that conversation is our market structure. So even if the daily is not clear in terms of bias, right? So creating a game plan, we're trying to find our bias or draw on liquidity currently. And this is something that we can't ignore this, right? This is a very clear change in the state of delivery on the hourly time frame, the market structure time frame. Very clear change in the state of delivery here, done with displacement, right? You even have the FEG. Okay, so even if the daily is not clear, I'm not going to go against the higher time frame trend. So I understand that, yes, it just swept external liquidity on the daily time frame. That is a location to be bearish. I still stand by everything I say. I'm just being objective to the information is what's going on. Clearly, the bulls are still in control. All these dips just continue to keep getting bought up. Okay. On top of that, if you look at the weekly open, not something that we typically talk about every time, but if you look at the gap from the weekly open, we're bouncing right off of the opening gap. So in terms of an important higher time frame location, you just got a bullish change in the state of delivery at the weekly opening gap. Okay, so I'm more inclined to look for higher prices once again. I understand that goes against the daily chart because of how yesterday's daily candle looks like a huge reversal candle. But I'm just not going to go against the higher time frame. Not going to go against the trend. Trend is your friend until the end of the trend. The hourly chart shows a bullish change in the state of delivery. For that reason, I'm going to target the highs using this change in the state of delivery. So in terms of a game plan, right? The daily's a little confusing, but I went to the hourly chart to understand why I'm bullish. I'm going to be bullish looking for, that's going to be another new all-time high, right? So bullish with a draw on liquidity of all-time highs. And then it becomes an entry function in terms of the last portion of our game plan. And you have one here, right? So this is why I'm on the hourly chart, because this is something to execute here. This is a bullish unicorn, right? You have the bullish breaker right here, and it has the fair value gap, right? So we can sit here on the hourly time frame and look for this. Right, so you're quite literally staring at the game plan now. We went over the time. We went over the economic calendar. We came up with a reason to become bullish. Yes, it was a little different than our normal concepts today, but we're creating a game plan. We're getting ready to execute. We need to understand what we're going to execute, and we have a clear idea now. So on the hourly time frame, the bullish change in the state of delivery is very clear. That's what I'm going to use today as my line in the sand, right? If price bounces off this area, it looks like the higher time frame bullish trend wants to continue. That's the overall game. If price does not find support at this area, then that would be invalidation to the idea. And that would result in a loss. Right? So it's about creating a game plan, about understanding what you want to execute, about understanding the information that you're looking at. Now that we have a game plan, we're going to have New York Open here in a couple minutes. So we'll take a look to see what occurs, right? See if that logic has any value to it. So now that we've created a game plan, now that we're prepared for New York Open, I'm going to head back over to chat. If you want to go over any questions or comments, anything relating to trading, anything relating to today's plan, feel free to throw any questions or information in there. If you're curious to why you can't communicate, I believe chat is sub-only mode. So make sure you sub to the channel and like the video while you're at it. Let's see what New York Open has for us. I don't have to go over ES and take a look real quick, but ES is the correlated pair. So it should be moving the same at the same time. Therefore, I don't need to go over the same exact analysis twice. It's the same thing here. Right? We'd be looking at that on ES. Okay? So let's see what New York Open has for us. Hop over here to chat, see if we have any questions about it. There's a possible unicorn on GU. I'm sorry, I execute on NQ and ES, so I'm going to be focusing here on the indices. The NQ hourly 1 chart tells the story. Yeah, I fully agree with that. That was my entire analysis there. It's really based off of the hourly chart this morning. It's very clear in terms of price fluctuations, very clear in terms of the change in the state of delivery, and it's trying to be done with displacement. We'll see if they leave this FVG here. SMT on the daily chart. Let's take a look. See if you guys are correct with that. Yeah, so ES took out July 14th swing low. NQ did not. So very good job to the individuals pointing that out. Yes, that is bullish SMT. ES took out the swing low there, while NQ did not. Very good job to the individuals pointing out the daily SMT. I agree, Tyree. My 401k would love to see the higher prices. Let's do this for the 401ks. This one's for the 401k. Hopefully they send it back to all-time highs once again. Do us all a favor. Looks like ES is being the stronger pair here. NQ's getting the entry, though, on the breaker block. Right, so we'll take a look at this. See if that long opportunity plays out. Why not on the 5-minute chart? Because this is clear and decisive. I can clearly understand what I'm looking at. It's defined. The concepts that I use. Right? I've explained to everyone, I've traded many different time frames before, whether it's the 1 minute, 5 minute, the 15 minute, the hourly, the daily, the weekly. Time frame doesn't matter. The concepts remain the same. The only difference in terms of time frames is it's going to take a higher time frame execution much longer than it would take a lower time frame execution. That's the only difference between time frames. Everything else remains the same, right? This is trying to become a bullish unicorn right here. Very clear institutional swing points, right? The breaker block would be right here. We'll see if they leave the FEG aligned with the breaker block. Right, it looks like they're taking out the FEG, so this won't be a unicorn, but this is still a change in the state of delivery. We'll see if this plays out. First, right here. So still the same thing. Still the same information. See if find support from hourly change. When you identify your point of interest, should it be aligned with your bias? Absolutely. Yeah, if you're looking for longs, you should be looking below old swing lows. Do not look for longs above old swing highs. ES is doing a nice job staying higher. I would want to be longing ES here. It's very clear that there's more strength in ES compared to NQ. NQ has gone all the way back to the change in state of delivery. Let's see if it sweeps the prior hourly candle, because that would also be bullish SMT. But right now, ES looks to be the stronger pair. Notice the difference here. ES has barely pulled back so far to start the open. ES is looking like the stronger pair. Why are you watching the hourly chart for an entry function? Once again, because it's very clear, it's very decisive. I can understand what I'm looking. Good morning, Trader Kira. Hope your day is going well. Hello, I have a question. If Asia's high is intact and the low is taken out by London session, then during New York AM, the high gets displaced through. Does search and destroy profile still apply? No. No, it does not. That is not the scenario where search and destroy is defined. Search and destroy is when London session takes out Asia session's high and low during London session. So in the example that you're asking, that is not search and destroy. NQ in the hourly bearish FEG and possibly forming a 5-minute unicorn. I just can't get behind lower prices. I do see what you're saying. You're definitely correct, right? It took out the swing high in there. So if you want to use that as a bearish breaker, yes, I agree with that. And there's an FEG. Not looking to pick a top. So as of right now, the hourly, I just can't ignore it. And if I were to pick a pair, it would be ES to go higher, because it looks like ES clearly has strength versus NQ. Notice how ES has not pulled back yet. So, trend is your friend until the end of the trend. I just can't get behind shorts. I'll look at ES going higher. That will be today's information. Good luck to the Bulls and the Bears. Not saying that the bearish play can't play out. Maybe it does work. Can't tell the future. I'm just showing you the logic that I'm using. So let's watch ES. If ES is able to go higher today. Good morning, Dylan James. How are you doing today? See you again. Hope your day is going well. Do you only trade indices like NQ and ES? Yes. 95% of my trades have been on NQ and ES. There has been a rare amount of trades on oil and gold. I've literally only traded gold one time my entire life. I've had like a handful of oil trades, but almost everything has been on NQ. 1 minute bullish uni on NQ. I'm not interested in the 1 minute. ES is just in a range. Yeah, ES is doing a good job holding higher. NQ went down and tapped the bullish change in the state of delivery. Other than that, that's the only thing that's occurred so far. It looks like NQ got the long entry versus ES showing the strength. I think ES is going to lead the way, and then NQ will follow it higher. So feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat as we're waiting and watching. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm also running a giveaway on my social media. So if you hop over here, you get over on my Twitter channel, currently running a giveaway for my funded futures accounts, 50K starter plus accounts. We're giving away 5 of them. All you have to do is complete the entry criteria. You go to this post, specifically this post, complete this entry criteria. On Friday, we'll be announcing the 5 winners of the 50K starter plus accounts. Okay, so Friday we'll announce those winners. So, any questions, any information? Is anybody in any positions yet? Let's see how chat is doing. Bullish or bearish today? Throw it in chat. Comment whether you're looking for higher prices or lower prices today. Are you bullish or bearish? What are you guys looking for? Guys and girls. Sorry. Bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bearish. All right, so it's pretty 50-50. What is the change in the state of delivery? That's the first moment in time the trend changes, right? So look at this as a trend, right? Like so, from this swing high to this low, we were in a bearish trend because we were doing lower highs and lower lows. Okay, here's the high. Right, I'm analyzing a trend is what's happening. Here's the beginning of the trend right here. Then we make a lower low. Then we make lower highs. Make another lower low. We make another lower low. Make another lower high. Finally, you're making your last lower low here. And then we broke the trend. The very first moment in time the trend changes, that's what a change in the state of delivery would be, right? The delivery was lower from this point in time right here, this swing high, to this swing low. Then the delivery changed when we made a new high right here, right? So very first moment in time, trend changes. That's what a change in the state of delivery is. Right, so that's why we're looking at this, right? Because if in fact the trend did change at this location, right, they should find support from this location and send it higher to what we're trying to target. Right, so our thesis for today, our idea for today is that if the trend actually changed here right before New York Open, then this area is our line in the sand, right? This would either provide support for price and send it to the target, right? That would validate my idea, or I would know I'm wrong if there was no support shown and we just went and made a new low. Right? I'm okay with being wrong. It's a matter of creating a game plan and then executing it. That way you know what you're looking for. You know what you're trying to execute. Right? We need to create a game plan each day so that we know which position we're trying to execute, so that when we execute that position, we can strictly define our risk. So it's not a matter of being right or wrong. It's a matter of process. Fall in love with the process, allow the results to be a byproduct of it. Risk properly throughout that time, and you will be able to be right 50% of the time and be wrong 50% of the time and make money. Right? 50% win rate at a 1 to 2 risk to reward, you're going to make progress in that account. Right? Very good question, though. Quick little change in the state of delivery conversation. So we'll see if that area provides support for higher prices. If that does end up happening. The point of creating a game plan is that we don't know what's going to happen, right? Nobody can tell the future. But what you can do is identify certain concepts on the chart that help you understand a cause and effect relation to how you're going to execute. That's the purpose of having a plan. Hey, good morning, Carson. Hope your week is going well. So once again, feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat. It doesn't matter what it's about. As long as it's about trading, we can go over it. Gladly willing to share any type of information regarding the trading business. Go look at the 4-hour chart. No, thank you. Personally, I don't deal with multiple time frames. The time frames I use are because I don't want to fall into information overload. Right? If I'm analyzing the daily chart, I have no reason to analyze the 4-hour. Those are essentially the same time frame. You need one higher time frame, which I use the daily for a bias. Then you need one medium time frame. That's where I use the hourly for your market structure. And then you need one lower time frame for entry function. Okay, so you only need one of each. I don't need multiple higher time frames. I only need one. So I use the daily for that. In 2 seconds, I'm just going to take a sip of water. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw it in. Right. Thank you for your patience. Have here. Not much going on so far. NQ gave the entry on the long idea. Other than that, we've just been sitting around break even. Just been sitting around entry. No real move has happened so far this morning. So let's see. Ash, thank you so much. Every time I join the live, I learn something new. Thank you very much for saying that. I really appreciate the kind words. We are here working and learning every single week. We will be relentlessly trying to get 1% better every single day. What is break even? That's when you take a trade and the result of the trade is break even, right? You don't win, you don't lose. You break even. So we don't have much going on. Nothing to overanalyze. Nothing to get impulsive about. So far, we had a move lower at New York Open. Ever since then, hasn't really rebounded yet. It's just sitting here trying to make up its mind. Hi, Ash. Thanks for the details. I'm new. Where should I start learning? Go to my YouTube video. Go to my YouTube page. Go to the playlist. Then go to the unicorn model playlist. Start there. The free playlist about the model I use to trade. NQ is bearish. Yeah, it's gone lower so far. Hasn't turned around ever since. So whoever was bearish in chat, congratulations. You're getting some lower prices there. See if that turns into hourly SMT or if ES wants to go and take out the hourly candle low as well. So we'll see. Once again, this would be invalidation to the idea, and I'm more than okay with being wrong with my information. It's not a matter of being right or wrong. It's a matter of clearly identifying the information. So this was clear to start the morning. It's not showing any support so far. Invalidation to the idea would be the swing low. So we'll see if it goes to invalidation. We'll see if there's any kind of support shown from this area. NQ bearish unicorn ran without an entry. Yeah, it looks like it just went instantly lower there. Right, if you were trying to use either one of the down close candles, it really doesn't matter which one. Neither one of them got a entry. So, very good idea nonetheless. Thing ran without giving an entry and went lower. Very good job. Hey Ash, what is the best broker on TradingView for futures? Are we talking about for prop firms? Are we talking about for cash accounts? Got to be a little more accurate with that question. I would have different answers. Hi Ash, how to refrain from using more time frames? Just a simple decision. There's nothing to it. You just make that decision and stick to it, right? If you really don't have any discipline to the point where you can't follow the decisions you make, then trading is going to be very hard for you. Sorry for being too straightforward, but it's plain and simple. It's just a decision. Make a decision and stick to it. NQ looking to sweep London low. Yeah, there's a potential there. We'll see. We will see. It has moved lower so far to start the day. There's been no form of support for the bulls shown. So potentially wrong in terms of logic today. We'll see. Invalidation is down here at the swing low. Hey Ash, how many Sorry, I don't know why I can't read. Hey Ash, how many win rate is enough to start making money? 50% win rate at a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Okay, that's a realistic win rate with a realistic risk to reward. I will not follow you again because I was bearish today and the trade got an entry and also took profits. You should never be following anybody. This is a you versus you business. The only person that's ever going to click the button for you is yourself. So, in my opinion, you should never be following anybody. You should always have your own information. Very simple, chat. This is a you versus you business. You are the only person clicking the button for yourself, so you should be you should be making all of your own decisions. Potential for hourly SMT there. ES did not take out the previous hourly candle low. See if it does or doesn't. See if it does or doesn't. He wants someone to tell him signals. Chat, never join a signal service. Okay? Never join one. This isn't one. I've never ran one. I highly suggest that you don't do that. Okay? That is one of the worst way forwards. We all came here to learn a skill that nobody can take away from us, right? That's where the freedom of trading comes in. So if you're wanting a boss, someone to listen to, you should just get a 9-to-5 job. This is not a signal service. None of my communities are. It never has been. I've done many, many disclaimers stating the same. Never once done a signal service. Being an independent thinker is the best way forward. Did ES take out the hourly candle low yet? Not yet. You don't have to spam chat. The amount of times you said weekly fair value gap, I understand that. Everybody could see the comment. Not to just keep spamming comment. Weekly fair value gap. That's where it wants to go. I don't think you can tell the future. I don't know. Nobody knows where it wants to go. You got to be objective to price. So there's no reason to just keep spamming weekly fair value gap. Calling this thing, you're calling it bearish, yet we continue to make new all-time highs. So not sure about that. End of the day, price is random. Exactly. That is what the fact is. Nobody can tell the future. We're dealing with a random distribution of probabilities. So to have any type of certainties is not a good idea. If you're trying to deal with guarantees, that is not a good idea. You have to understand that it's random. You have to accept the risk before the risk is taken. If you cannot accept the risk, then don't take the risk. So, any other questions? Any other information? Is there anything else you'd like to go over, chat? So, I'm waiting. I'm being patient. I'm not looking to force myself upon price. So far, price has not adhered to my game plan. For that reason, I will be completely okay with remaining patient. We'll see what the rest of the day develops. We also have the My Funded TV live stream after this. So we can also continue the conversation over there to see the results to this information. But as of right now, being patient to start the day, we'll see what price develops. Decent move lower so far to start the day. We'll see if it wants to go to the London low. If it does, that bullish idea is completely invalidated. So looks like the bears are trying to stay in control here. There's the hourly bullish SMT is no longer there. See if it goes down to invalidation. Bears are trying to stay in control here. ES is clearly the stronger pair, though. You can see the percentage change as well. Huge difference there between NQ. If ES was to sell off, NQ would just go. But ES is trying to hold it up here. See what happens. Is a bearish unicorn on YM valid? Hop over to YM, see what YM did. Yeah, that is the same position as NQ. NQ just ran without giving an entry. Same thing there on NQ. ES did it as well. So this right here on ES, looks like all of them did it. Like the bears are trying to take the session. See what happens. If I was bearish on NQ, can I use the 1400 candle as my point of interest? You have a swing high here or a bearish FEG here. So whichever ones you're looking at, those are both higher time frame points of interest. A hourly bearish FEG or an hourly swing high. Ash, there is no unicorn on NQ because it invalidates the FEG on the breaker. What time frame are you looking at? Are you talking about a bullish one? Are you talking about a bearish one? All right, if you're talking about a bearish one, here's a bearish unicorn on the 5-minute chart on NQ. Breaker block, FEG. All right, so this is clearly a unicorn right here. Hopefully you're not talking about this one. If you're talking about the hourly bullish one that we pointed to here, this was a change in the state of delivery. This was not a unicorn. So if you're looking at this here, then this was a change in the state of delivery. This was not a unicorn. So it depends on what you're talking about. SMT on the 1 minute. I have no interest in going to the 1 minute chart. I'm not even going to consider 1 minute SMT. How do you confirm invalidation, the change in the state of delivery? That's if price were to go to the low. It's just a location. Right, here's the change in the state of delivery here. Here's the invalidation. So if price went to invalidation, it would be invalidated. Nothing more to it. Invalidation is here. Validation to the idea. The idea. Nothing more to it. If price goes to here, it's invalidation. So see that ES is clearly being the stronger pair. ES Still hasn't even revisited the change in the state of delivery, but it's the same exact thing on ES, right? This would be invalidation here. So if ES were to bounce from here, that looks like I was correct. If ES went to invalidation, that looks like I was wrong. That's what I'm looking at. Here's the two results. Either price goes higher from where it's at and the bullish idea was correct, or price goes to invalidation. I was wrong. Those are the two things that I'm looking at for today. If you have any last questions or comments, feel free to throw it in chat. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up in about 10 minutes. That way I have a short little break before the My Funded TV live stream. My Funded TV live stream is at 10:30 over on their channel. If you want to continue this conversation there, we can absolutely do that. Ash, if you could buy a Lamborghini right now, would you? No, I'm not. I'm a truck guy, so I would get a truck, not a Lamborghini. Off-topic question: are you standing? Yes, this is a standing desk. They sit-stand desks. It's electric, so half the time I'm sitting, half the time I'm standing. Trying to change it up. Stay mobile. Isn't that an hourly unicorn? On which chart? On which asset? You guys really got to be a little more accurate with these statements. I can't just guess what you guys are talking about. If you're talking about ES, yes, this is a unicorn, right? This has a bullish breaker right here, and it has a fair value gap right here, right? So this is a bullish unicorn on ES. On NQ, it is not. There is no FVG here on NQ. So if you were talking about NQ, this is not a unicorn. If you were talking about ES, then yes, it is. Very slow morning, nonetheless. Unless you caught the sell right there at the open. That's the only thing that's occurred so far today. So NQ's heading lower. Looks like NQ might reach invalidation here, while ES is still holding up decently. Unless you caught the sells, there's not much else to do here. Jason Trades, welcome to Unicorn University. That's pretty awesome. Welcome. You'll find that there's a lot of value here every single week throughout our community. Thank you for your content. Would it be possible for you to be online more often? I am online a lot more than a lot of people. I'm doing public live streams from 10:30 to 11:30 on My Funded Futures YouTube channel. That's Monday through Friday. On Wednesdays, I'm live here on this YouTube. Then I have a public Discord where I'm trying to help people each day. And then we also have a private group called Unicorn University. So we have free public stuff, which is the Instagram, both the YouTubes, and the public Discord, and the Twitter. For the individuals that want free stuff, go to those locations. For the people that want individual one-on-one mentorship, that's what the private group is for. So if you want more attention, if you want me to be reviewing your trades, if you need, mentorship, then that's what the private group is for. But we do a lot of public work already. So we're going to begin to wrap up this stream. I'm going to close it up there. You guys and girls all know what I'm looking for today. The same conversation is going to happen over there on the My Funded TV live stream. That's because that's my game plan. Right? You know what I'm looking for. We're just currently waiting for a result to it. So whether you want to follow along or not, I'm going to go ahead and take about a 10 to 15 minute break. That way I could get a quick cup of water and a snack, and then we'll continue the conversation over on the My Funded TV. So I'll see you all over there at 10:30. Do me a favor, if you found any value from this, if you find any value from any of the free stuff, hit the sub button, hit the like button, turn notifications on. That way you can see when we go live again. All right, so I'll see you guys in another 15 minutes over on that live stream. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for everybody that participated. I really appreciate you all. I will see you again in another 15 minutes. I hope everyone has a great day. I will talk to you shortly.